Hello. Uh, as you know, this is I just do it in my mobile, and I don't know how to look at the camera. Some people are saying that you should really be particular about the frame and the quality of the video. I will do this if I find people are really finding it interesting and making remarks, sending their opinions, then probably I will do it. I will take care of it. So right now, as you know, this is uncut, unedited video. I In my last video on legislative theater, I explained how legislative theater can um, become something like a combination of acting and activism, theater on stage and off stage. Uh, there are plays that can very specifically deal with some particular demand, some particular act. So, and they can be also treated as probably legislative theater. That's what I feel today. And in my last video, if you have not yet seen, please see it in Jana Sanskriti Center for Theatre of the Oppressed YouTube channel, or in the in Art of Democracy channel. I have explained what could be another form of legislative theatre. Uh, Today, I would quickly mention that sometimes we thought of sending interventions of the people to the policymaker. Like, for example, we had a play on education. Uh, it was addressing the situation of primary education, elementary education, and in the village. So, five satellite teams, they thought they would make the same play on education to 50 villages. Each team will focus on 10 villages. So that's how we performed in 50 villages. And as our model goes, we take the same play to the same audience three times at an interval of 1 month or 1.5 months. So each village watched the same performance three times. So there were 150 performances. And in 150 performances, there were interventions of the people noted in writing. So then we actually send those interventions. Someone from us who wrote in each of our team has a writer. Now there is mobile, so writer's role is not so important, but still we write the intervention of the people, spectators, and then after the performance, all the actors they sign after the interventions are written. So nobody can challenge our authenticity, and those are documented. We keep the records. So similarly, on our play on education, it we had 150 performances in 50 villages. So then those 150 performances, the interventions collected from those performances, were sent to some policymakers who can influence the education policy. So we gave them the ground level picture and the perception of the people, and what people think should be done by the government to have a solid education policy at the primary level. So this was sent. These interventions were sent to the policymakers, and that's how we actually wanted to wanted to ensure the participation of the people on the question of education. That is also a form of legislative theatre. Then the currently what we are doing is, it has a genesis. For example, when COVID started, we could not sit quiet at our center or our home watching our spectators are suffering from media panic and from true disaster. So naturally, since our spectators are, we are quite closely related to our spectators. The village we went before 37 years the villages are still part of our area of operation. So you can see there are many villages where you can see three generation watching our play, grandfather, son, and their grandchilds. So grandchildren. So therefore, our relationship with our audience is very old. So we couldn't keep quiet. So we started organizing the relief program for the people who migrated and came back through a very bad experience. They were back in their own villages, so they were kept in the quarantine center. So we used to go and give them some food grains. We used to give them cooked food, and we used to listen to their stories. And that's how you got to know the real condition of the migrant workers when they get migrate from one state to another state. And our state, West Bengal, is a source where a migrant worker lives, and they go to a destination like Chennai, Kerala, Delhi, Maharashtra. Those are the destinations. So when you got to know their condition, that they don't get the proper wage, they are supposed to get the wage of the wage scheduled in the respective state. If they are migrated to Delhi, then Delhi government's minimum wage to be given to them. They don't. The contractors do not enter into any agreement, and therefore they are not workers in the pen and paper. So they have no existence really legal. They have no legal existence. The women are additionally tortured. They have no place to stay, separate space. They have no latrine. So these are the things that they go through. There are many such things. They don't get any, whatever entitlement they have, they cannot get. They are supposed to get a migrated, when they migrate, they are supposed to get a migration allowance. That also they don't get. And they all don't know about it. So when we made a play on these migrant workers and started the Forum Theatre, uh, it all happened during COVID time. After the COVID time was over, but during COVID time we collected the data, the information. Soon after the COVID situation got diluted, and then we started performing forum plays on this, and we noticed the migrant workers in the audience are not intervening. They are keeping quiet. Whereas other villagers, those who don't get migrated, they are intervening. Their family members are intervening, but they themselves are not intervening. They are passively watching the play. When we noticed this after several performances, then we started talking to them. Why are you not intervening when it is your problem? Then they said, no, we feel quite helpless. What can we do when you are migrating in a different state with different language? In India, they have different culture, different administration. And how can we actually oppose our contractor and owner when you know a little bit of protest will uh, terminate my job? My job will be terminated with if I protest. So therefore, we accept. We have nothing to do. If it was in our local area, we could have protested. We could have organized ourselves. But it's not. We are not working in our villages. We are working in a different state. So then we realized that they need a law. They have a law, but that's not sufficient. So they need, first of all, they need to know what is the law, and also they should know the lacunas in the law. So then, what can you do? Then we started inviting the trade union leaders, and a new chapter began. The trade union, mostly they were central trade union leaders. And then we invited them to teach us the Interstate Migration Act because we are dealing with it through our play. And we can see our migrant workers are not intervening. So they have some helplessness. What is the reason? What is there in the law? And why can't, if there is a law, why are not they implemented? Why they are not implemented by the government, labor commissioners? The government has a machinery to see that this law is implemented. Then actually, trade union leaders, they taught us the entire Interstate Migration Act, which is there, which exists. And after getting to know the law in existence, we designed our play and we trained our oppressor character in such a way that the interventionists, the spectators, if they intervene, when they intervene, our oppressor characters were trained in such a way that the spectators, by and large, would know the loopholes and lacunas in the existing law. That's how our oppressor characters were trained. And after they get to know, after the forum part is over, when they get to know the lacunas, loopholes through which the owners, contractors are escaping and they nobody can touch them, law cannot touch them. Then two things happened. One, they got to know a law that was made for them. They didn't know. Now they know at least. And then they also knew the lacunas in the law. So then we gave them after the performance, we gave them pen and paper and we asked them, what are your amendments? What are your suggestions? When you know these gaps, how do you like to fill it up? How do you like to address the lacunas? What kind of clause you want to keep? So, audience, the spectators, the families from where they people get migrated, people migrate to other states. They and the local government officials, elected representative in the local government, in panchayat, village level, local government, they were also invited. So they all have written. They have written. We have already had many shows, uh, close to 600 performances are already done. So we have so many interventions, and in other states too, not only in Bengal, in Bihar, in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, in Delhi, in Assam, in Rajasthan. So we will be doing this legislative theatre in all other states, and our plan is that after we get the interventions from the people, we have got a bench of lawyers, French lawyers. They practice labor law in High Court and Supreme Court. They have extended, they will extend their help to draft a new law based on the most powerful suggestions, amendments they will get from the people. So if our all the interventions they are recorded, the people are writing, they are giving their signature, giving their mobile numbers. So we are examining Our lawyers will be examining those suggestions of so many suggestions, and then based on those suggestions, they will draft a new law, which we will submit, which we will distribute to all the MPs, member of parliament. So, and upper house and lower house. In India, we have 540 members in the parliament. So, we will distribute the newly drafted law to each member of parliament. That is our goal, and we know that uh, they will. This is how we will create a connection between electorate and elected. This is how theatre is taking the voices of the electorate to the elected, to the house. In a way, we are interested to serve a couple of, or more than a couple of purposes. First, migrant workers and their families are getting to know about the existing law. They are getting to know about the lacunas. They are welcome to suggest their amendments, and then it is going to the House of Parliament. So their voices are going. So in a way, it is strengthening, in a way, the representative democracy, and also questioning the limitations of the representative democracy. That you should listen to your electorate. Your duty is not to go to your constituency once in 5 years. We will keep sending our voices and you have to hear it. This is where we see our success. We are not expecting that the law will be legislated by the government. Maybe some sensitive member of parliament can table the bill, but we are not expecting it so easily to be passed, because we know that we are sending the voices of the electorate to the House of Parliament, where the elected representatives are sitting, and we will organize a struggle. We will organize a movement. So both can probably bring some interesting, important changes in the existing law, which will provide protection to the migrant workers. Thank you very much, friends. This is night already, and I have already taken a lot of your time. So please do share this to your friends, to your network, and let me know your opinion. And please also, those who haven't heard of the first episode of the Legislative Theatre, please find some time to have a look to listen to that video also. Thank you very much.